been about a week since we put those pellets inside the pond, and I have to say, welcome back to another Axe Family video. We bought a house with a pond. The pond is definitely my most favorite part about the property. Taylor was a little bit more interested in the house and how inside the house looks. I was more concerned with what does the property look like. And I do apologize for the bad video footage and stuff. I'm still, getting used to this camera and all the settings. And so having a pond is perfect for that. We could even put livestock in this back pasture. I've heard some of the neighbors say that people have had goats here, they've seen steers. We have some algae in the pond, and we're gonna approach the algae problem with two different solutions. One, we have a fountain that we're gonna turn on in the middle of the pond, and that will help push the algae to the outsides. Two, we are going to take a bag full of barley pellets, and we are going to broadcast them throughout the pond, throwing them from the edge all the way around the pond. Hopefully that will take some of the algae down. On this side of the pond we have 3 Russian olive trees, and from what I've heard, some people aren't a fan of them because they have some thorns on them. Right now they're causing no harm to me or Taylor, and so we're gonna leave them here for now, and then maybe down the road we might take these trees out if they become a nuisance for some reason. But so far, yeah, they've been fine. I like having the shade over here. There are 3 main inlets into the pond. This right here is an overflow from the neighbor's pond. The previous owner said that this irrigation ditch will turn off and on depending on the farmers upstream. The 3rd inlet of water, where the water has been flowing into the pond consistently, is right here. This creek has kept the pond full as I've used the water for irrigation. So we do have a 1.5 horsepower pump, and that pump will provide all of the irrigation needs for the whole front side of the property. The previous owner said that they didn't water any of the pastures, they only watered the lawn, which is basically the inside pasture where the house is. And so that's what I'm planning on doing. We have a sprinkler system kind of set up where we can run the hoses and they all connect to each other and they reach around the house. And that's been working out great so far. When it comes to training dogs, this pond is actually great because it's not just a circle or an oval. It actually has, that finger section that goes way back there. So let's just go to an overhead look from an aerial view, and you can see that we have these 3 different places where the water flows into the pond, and then right here is where the water flows out of the pond. Like I was saying before, we have these couple parts where I can gradually get dogs to retrieve, where they go through the water and up back onto land, and I can move them across the pond and it will get farther and farther each time. So we have some different technical training situations out here that I can do for dog training, and that's pretty exciting. I've already started Chief on working some different retrieves, and then the 2 Labradors that I just sent home that I had for the last 6 months, we were doing a bunch of retrieves out here as well. Those 2 puppies I trained for shed hunting, and so all throughout this back pasture I would plant sheds kind of all around the pond and have them go and find them, and it just became a daily routine, something that they always looked forward to. And they got to the point where if I said find a shed, then they'd get super excited and they'd start sniffing, and they knew exactly what that meant. This is a bag of barley pellets, and before buying this property, I had no idea that barley pellets would help get rid of algae. The previous owner actually left this bag of barley pellets for us, and it's a 40-pound bag, and they said they just simply broadcast it into the pond, and they do it twice a year. Smells so good. I'm gonna go around the whole pond and just throw the pellets in. Definitely around the edge, because that's where most of the algae is. and then I'm really excited to see if it works. So stick around. Later in this video, I'll fill you guys in on how the barley pellets and the fountain have changed the algae atmosphere in the pond. Alright, it's now 1 day later, and the fountain has been pushing the algae to the outside, but we still have quite a bit of algae around the edges of the pond. Hey, there you are. So it's been about a week since we put those pellets inside the pond, and I have to say there's been a little bit less algae, but I've seen 2 algae blooms since then, and the fountain continues to do its job as it pushes the algae towards the outer edges of the pond. However, the algae isn't completely gone yet, and I'm not convinced that the pellets are helpful. They might be helpful a little bit, but I'm not fully convinced. The previous owner said they put them in twice a year. It was a 40-pound bag, so I'm hoping that they're helping. So anyways, I'm excited to continue to use this pond for just a peaceful backyard, and also with dog training, and to bring you guys along with more videos in this location. One thing that I do want to know about the pond is how deep it is. So at some point I'm going to take the boat out, and we'll have to figure out a way to measure how deep the pond is, and I'll save that for a future video. If you haven't done so already, push the subscribe button all the way in and click the bell so you get notified when we post new videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Hats off to you.